It's actually kind of nice to hear the old school mentality. I like it. It's refreshing. It's refreshing.
I think I was one of the last boot camps that they could still touch you.
Really?
They touched me, dude.
What were they allowed to do?
I
Oh, you'd
watched.
be doing flutter kicks and they'd kick you right in the stomach.
Yeah.
You'd
What?
you'd be like at
And
100 and just like how your knees kind of start to bend and you're like
Yeah.
just trying to grunt them out and they get your legs up and kick you right in the gut and you're like, ah,
in
bugs.
my boot camp, I watched two kids get drowned, like held underwater during swim call, and then they had to revive them after, you know, they had to bring them back after they got them out of the water.
In the army?
No, that was in the
No, that was the
Marines.
Marine Corps.
Oh, that was in the Marines. Okay. I was like, why did you have water? You're a Marine. Okay, that makes sense. Interesting. That's hmm. I
Yeah,
don't have
Mothers of
stories like
America
those.
is that one.
So Mark, tell me about your service and then how you got to making VetMX or thinking of it or how that came around. The origin
Okay,
story, if you will say.
okay, well, I grew up in Southern California.
Nice.
Um, my dad was a Marine Corps veteran,
Oh boy.
and was a big District 37 desert racer in the late 60s and early 70s.
Oh
So
wow.
I've always been around bikes. I mean, I grew up holidays. I didn't know holidays at home. Holidays were out in the desert,
Hmm.
camping, riding dirt bikes with your extended dirt bike family. And yeah, so I mean, I've always been around it. So it's something I've loved.
Hmm.
And even when I went in, I rode. Um, Unfortunately, my senior year, my dad was killed.
Oh
And a month prior, I actually it enlisted in the Army against both my
wow.
parents' advice. Um, I did have potential scholarships to run track at a couple of universities, and they wanted me to go that route. But I kind of wanted to follow my dad's footsteps and join the military.
Hmm.
Um, didn't join his branch, but needless to say, still served. So I joined way back, long time ago, 1985,
Nice.
and did basic training at Fort Leonard Wood.
Hmm.
I was a 63 Bravo
What's a 63 Bravo? Diesel mechanic?
diesel mechanic, diesel mechanic, so diesel
Gotcha.
mechanic, track mechanic, recovery specialist.
Hmm.
Um, had some great duty stations and some not so good duty stations. Uh, I spent time at Fort Sill, got to go to lovely South Korea.
How was that?
Uh, I actually had fun. Most people said, they hated it. You're away from your family.
Hmm.
Um, I was on the other side of Camp Casey at Camp Hobie, so it was still kind of in the middle, but still kind of close to the action
Hmm.
at the DMZ. Um, I was stubborn. My wife at the time flew over on a tourist visa and stayed with me for the first 6 months.
Wow.
Um, and she learned military life real quick because when they locked down, the barracks, I was stuck on post and she was stuck in a foreign country.
Yep.
Um, she ended up getting pregnant with my oldest son. So at my mid tour, we sent her home. But Korea was fun. I mean,
It's
it's a
still
different
fun.
culture. And at a young age, I think I was 22 or 23 and never being out of Southern California really.
Hmm.
So you see how the world is somewhere else. And from there, I had to reenlist and reenlisted for Fort Irwin, California, because I wanted to come home. What I
Yeah.
didn't realize is I'd be stuck at NTC doing rotations, 20 days on, 4 days off for almost 5 years. But it was fun to an extent. The first
Hmm.
10 rotations are fun. After that, it's like, oh, not this again. And I
Yeah.
bounced around. I was in ops group with the OCs. I was in live fire for a time. And when I reenlisted there, they're like, no more ops group. You're going to 177th Forward Support Brigade. we need you in the out four. So then I got to spend the last year and a half dressing up as a Russian soldier playing out four. So I mean, that was a little bit
What?
different. Yeah.
That's so well, I think that would be fun. Maybe it wasn't fun, but I feel like that would be a fun thing to play because then you're training your battle buddies and you get to be the bad guy there.
Well, and then you walked around on post wearing very distinctive different uniforms, black berets with red stars, and it I mean all the vehicles were mocked to be Russian, and
Wow.
so if you were at the PX, you could.
like this?
I didn't speak it, but yeah, I mean it. But you always went out and fought a battle, and then you'd come home, right?
Yeah.
There was no being out in the field for a long period of time. There wasn't live fire, and there was an ops group, whatever side of the rotation they were on, we would be out there for, 10 days or whatever. But and then went to Germany. Actually got hurt at Fort Irwin.
What happened?
They dropped the back ramp of a 113 on me. When we were lowering it from here to here. I thought it wasn't holding my weight because it didn't have any hydraulic fluid in it. And the other guys decided to drop it, and I held up tight, thinking that, well, I'm not holding my weight. Bent me in half and did some back damage. And
yeah, I bet.
Ironically, I changed 2 transmissions and a pack in a 113 that day after it happened. It wasn't till the next morning when I rolled out of bed that it kind of went snap, crackle, pop, and then went completely numb from the waist down.
Oh my God.
So had some back surgery, and 2.5 years later, they still cleared me to go to Germany. When I got to Germany, it was in early '92, which was the Clinton era, and they were downsizing. And even at 2.5 years later, I still wasn't cleared to wear a Kevlar, and they just went, "You're out of here."
Was that a medical discharge?
Yeah, so I got medical.
Okay.
All in all, I did almost 9 years.
That's a lot. That's a good chunk. That's a very good chunk.
Was shooting for the 20, but
Things happen.
you take what you can get and be fortunate for the time you did get. And now with VetMX, I feel like I'm still serving the military community. I'm still out there with my brothers and sisters that served. And the biggest piece that I take from not being in is missing that camaraderie.
Oh, yeah.
And that's what's a big part of VetMX. VetMX, I didn't found VetMX. I just helped the organization.
Gotcha.
It's an interesting story. Cody and Dustin Blankenship, one Marine Corps, one Air Force brothers. So you can imagine that.
Let's go Air Force, finally. Jesus, waiting for it.
And they started this in Virginia.
Interesting place. Okay.
And they had a local track, Lake Sugar Tree, which was their home track to ride. And looking at it now, almost 10 years later, this was really more of a community project for them to get the military within that community together and build what VetMX is now, but within Virginia. What they didn't realize is there's veterans all across the United States that love their dirt bikes.
Oh yeah.
And they miss their camaraderie within, their time in service. And we kind of branch and bring that all together. So ironically, I collect signed jerseys.
Really?
It's something I've got 18 framed in my office.
I see one. I see some behind you. It looks like.
I mean, there's.
Oh wow! Oh, yeah, that's so cool.
And then there's probably another 40 that aren't framed that are in my closet, just because there's no room to hang them, so there's no reason to get them framed. And VetMX was raising money. They had a Ricky Carmichael jersey, and it's one that I didn't have. And I'm like, he had retired, and I'm like, hey, I'm in the position. Let me help my brothers. They're trying to raise money for their foundation, and I knew they were in Virginia, and I add a really cool piece to my collection. And most everything in my collection has a story behind it. The Kevin Windham you see behind me was my wife and I's first date at Supercross. That we met Kevin Windham and got it signed.
That's
There's
so
there's a,
sweet.
there's a Jeremy McGrath that I've got that my son and I got at X Games. They all have it like, and there's so much personal attachment to it. Like, you could offer me $1 million, I wouldn't get rid of it, because the things that I've done with my family to get them is really what is exciting about it.
How about
So,
2 million?
How about 2 million?
So I won the jersey, and when they mailed it to me, they sent me a couple T-shirts and some stickers, but in it all was a membership card, and I'm like, membership card? What? You guys are in Virginia. I'm in California. It's not like I'm loading my bike up Saturday and going to drive and come hang out for the day. And so I called him up and talked with Dustin, one of the brothers, and he's like, thank me for the donation and all that kind of stuff. And he goes, like, what's up with this membership card? I really can't use it. So if it's taking it away from somebody, I don't want to hold that slot. And he goes, well, VetMX is community ran. He goes, everybody in the foundation has equal rights. If you're the founder, if you're the president, or if you're a new member that signed up today, you have the same abilities that Peter does, I do, the Blankenship brothers, anybody within the organization. It's about taking responsibility for the area that you're in. In California, there was nobody. I was number uno.
That's so cool.
And now there's 5 years later, there's probably over 150 in Southern California.
That is insane. That is a lot of people. That's a lot of people, especially at a track.
So everybody wants, shows up the track, pulls up their VetMX canopy, and it seems like every time somebody does that, we sign up 1 or 2 new members. Hey, is this veteran for old guys or military? That's probably the most common question we get.
What's the answer?
Well, in my case, both.
That's perfect. I love that.
Or I refer them to the camo on the canopy, and I go, well, I don't know too many old guys that associate with camo is their veteran old guy status. So I mean, me buying a jersey's put me in this position. After 2 or 3 years as a member, as Southern California grew, I was asked to kind of be a regional director here in Southern California.
Wow.
And as that grew, it came into a position to be a full board member position. And then I think it was 2 years ago, I was voted in as the president from the board. And
that's so cool.
It's a brand new member that would sign up right now has the same ability to go put on a ride day as I do. So the title isn't, I say it's misleading, because we're all equals. We all have the ability to do something. And actually,
but you're truly one of the workhorses of the foundation. Like you're the one out there getting sponsorship and helping this organization grow. So you deserve that title.
Well, we it's not a one-man show, believe me. There's plenty of people. It takes a big team to get things done. And Peter's actually one of my success stories, which now, I talk to Peter more than my kids. He's my adopted son. And,
I heard you call him Grandpa.
Yeah, he's Gramps to me. And it's actually kind of funny. So Mark and I met. I moved to California, almost 9 years ago from North Carolina.
Let's go.
Yeah, when I was living out in Carolina Beach, North Carolina, and so I was injured in Iraq in 2005. Spent a lot of time in the hospital, in and out getting surgeries.
And you were in the Army, and can I ask what you did?
Yeah.
Or sorry, you're in the Marines.
Whoa.
Sorry. Once Marine, always Marine. I'm so sorry. To be fair, y'all are like the macho branches of all of them. So, I'll get you mixed up
Yeah.
sometimes.
No,
But
I actually went into the Marine Corps, and I actually swore in on September 11th, 2002.
shut up. Did you really?
A year after the attacks. I was a firefighter in Cincinnati, Ohio.
Wow.
And after the attacks, I wanted to do more than just. I knew we were going to war, and I didn't want to be one of the ones sitting on the couch not doing anything about it. So that's what I was actually still on my probation period with the fire department, and I asked my fire chief. I said, "Listen, if I go join the Marines, when I get out, can I come back to the fire station?" He's like, "Absolutely." So it took me a year to get everything situated and make the final decision, but I swore into the Marine Corps on 9/11/2002. Left for boot camp like a week after that. I was like literally I was a recruiter's like wet dream almost. Because I went in, I told him I was already physically fit. I was already like, I didn't have to do much. I went in open contract, so I didn't care.
Oh, wow.
I didn't care what I was. If, I was really hoping not to become a cook or something, but not that, I downgrade those guys at all, because I love to eat and we all need to eat. But and somehow I scored decent on my ASVAB, even though I guessed a lot of those questions. But
good job, Devil Dog. Good job.
Yeah, right. And, so I went into the Marine Corps. I was an 0331 right off the bat, which is a machine gunner. And then it was kind of crazy. My whole time in service was a little different. After that, after SOI, which is School of Infantry for the Marines, they were like, "Hey, we need LVS operators. So you're going to go to LVS school in Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri." I was like, "All right."
What's LVS?
It's I guess they don't even have them anymore.
Really?
That's how old I am. But it's a logistics vehicle system. It's maneuvered by hydraulics. They have all kinds of different attachments for them, from a flatbed to a very long bed that can recover down aircraft and stuff like that, to attachments that have missiles and stuff on them like that. So,
did you have a favorite?
I truthfully never. I drove them in school and then never got back in one again. So,
of course, all that training and then you never do it. That's definitely.
Well, I got back to my unit and they're like, "No, you're a machine gunner. We need machine gunners." So, yeah, it is what it is. So, so I was living in North Carolina. It was funny because I was big into scuba diving. I had all kinds of certifications through PADI with scuba diving, and my wife realized I was super depressed and just on the couch and not doing anything, and needed an outlet. So my wife and I went to my doctor, asked him about scuba diving, if I could get back into that again. And unfortunately, because of my brain injury and the pressure of being down in the water, the scuba diving was definitely not an option. So living on an island out in North Carolina, we were playing like it was like a kickball league. It was probably more about the hanging out and drinking part of it, but
that tracks. That still tracks.
Yeah. So I actually had some friends that were part of that league. They're like, "Hey, do you want to go ride some dirt bikes? Want to try riding dirt bikes?" And I was like, "Well, I actually raced growing up as a kid. I love dirt bikes."
Really?
I even had a dirt bike as a kid that I delivered a paper route. I don't know if anybody knows what that is anymore.
You
But
delivered the news on a loud freaking bike
yes,
at like 4 a.m. in the morning through all the neighborhoods?
well, it was a Yamaha RT100. It wasn't like a screaming two-stroke or anything like. It was a two-stroke, but it wasn't like super loud. More
Uh-huh.
of like a trail bike.
Sounds like a little bumblebee.
Yeah, and yeah, I would in Ohio. I actually delivered to his house, and he would laugh with me and say, "Hey, don't let my boys catch you on that thing." I said to him, "If they catch me, you're not getting your papers." So, yeah, got back into it with the guys in North Carolina. Had another friend that was a disabled Marine that he was on a quad, but we'd go to the track and it'd be fun jumping with him. It's like having a couch, in the air next to you and him sitting on it, flying over top of you and whatnot. And so I moved to North Carolina, or I moved from North Carolina to California about nine years ago or so. And when I got here, I was still riding. I'm like in the mecca of dirt bike riding. Like there's just so many amazing places to ride here, tracks, all that stuff. But it was different for me because I, was riding with other guys, but I had that moto lingo, but I was missing that military banter.
Mm-hmm.
So I got online, started looking up stuff because I remember kind of hearing about VetMX before I moved. And then I found Mark was doing a clinic with Donnie Hansen, a former Supercross pro,
Wow.
down at it was like Lake Elsinore, right? Yeah, it was Lake Elsinore.
On Veterans
So,
Day.
yep. So
Oh, perfect. Chef's kiss.
on Veterans Day. So I remember I reached out to Mark, and because I have a motorhome and trailer and stuff, and I was like, "Hey, Mark, would love to come down to this," which is like an 8-9 hour drive for me
Oh, wow.
because I'm up on the central coast of California, and and he was like, "Yeah." I was like, "Well, do you think they let me sleep in my camper down there?" And this, I had a bunch of questions for him, and he was like, "Yeah, dude, you're good. Just come on down." So went down there and was part of that clinic, and it was a feeling of being home, if that makes sense. Like
Oh, yeah.
I found my home, I found my brothers, and it just clicked from there. So shortly after that, I was all gung ho. I went out and bought a canopy, started meeting guys in my area, reached out to Mark constantly, and was like, "Hey, what can I do more? What can I do more?" Because I'm 100% with the VA. I've been retired since 2005 with a medical or a medical separation from the Marine Corps, and I Mark and I always talk about this. It's like we don't want to just be takers of the community. Like we want to be a part of the community. We want to be giving back to the community.
Mm-hmm.
So I got on board with him. I actually joined shortly after that. Joined the board with VetMX. I had some contacts, that were in MX Sports and other some pro riders and this and that. And next thing you know it, Mark and I got us into the Pro Outdoor Series. So we had a canopy and still do have a canopy set up at every single pro national race. And then we got into Feld for the Supercross. So now we're in every single pro race with the outdoor and Supercross. And really, once we did that, and that was during COVID too. So we got, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think there was like 500-ish members when I joined, and now we're up to over 1,400. So
Whoa.
And that's nationwide, you know, so we've got members in pretty much every single state. And that's where it goes back to the founders of, you know, we are all owners of this foundation.
Mm-hmm.
Mark and I, we do a lot of work for the foundation, but nobody gets paid. Like, this isn't a paid job. We strictly do it for the love of moto and the love of our brothers and sisters. So yeah, hosting ride days and clinics and the championship. I don't know if this is last year's shirt, but
2024. That looks good. That's a good looking shirt.
But well, it looks good because I'm wearing it.
Of course. But
no, so we host a huge championship out in Mays, Kansas every year. Well, this will be our 5th year. We picked Kansas because it's middle of the country. We have people from Maine, from Florida, from Washington, California, and everything in between come and join there. Last year we had like 160 something vets, I think, show up.
That's a lot of people.
This year we're definitely on track, you know, for a lot more to be out there. We have 23, I think it's 23 numbers. I don't quote me on all these numbers, but we have a class, a veteran MX class for everybody from beginner to pro. And those are where you're lined up on the gate just with veterans. And active duty too. We have active duty guys and girls. So
nice.
a lot of smack talk. You'll never hear so much smack talk in your life. Like, I have one of my favorite guys I like to line up with was a major in the Marine Corps.
A major?
So, yeah.
I didn't know majors could be sassy.
Right. Well, you know,
maybe when they're out of uniform, maybe.
When I get that, I always make sure I say it with all due respect and then just lay it on them, you know.
Of course. You got to lay the groundwork before dishing it out.
Yeah. So, but no, we have fun, man. We just the camaraderie and just it's so much laughter, and we have guys and girls from every branch, every era. We had a guy out there last year that was 67 years old from the Marine Corps. It's so awesome to be able to get out and share your story with people that understand. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't expect anybody to ever understand what I went through when I was injured, but that emotion is the same. And when you have that knowing of military life and what's expected of you, then it's a lot easier to comprehend and get it. Like, I always laugh when civilians don't realize that when I was in the Marine Corps, I knew somebody that got charged for destruction of government property because they got sunburnt so bad.
Oh, we still have that.
And couldn't go to work, and they lost their rank. They got demoted and lost 2 months of pay because of it. So people, you know, civilians don't understand that we are government property when we go in. And
asset. We are a government asset.
Government asset. Well,
thank you.
The wording has changed since then.
Fair enough. Now we've been corrected. Now we can't say property. We have to say, no, you're an asset. It's like, yeah, okay.
And I won't even use what they called us.
What they call you guys? Fair enough. At the end of this, you can tell me when the camera's off.
You know, we've really, it's gone so far, and we have so many members now. And that's the thing, is like, we have worksheets that will help a member, you know, put on the clinic. And, you know, if they can help fund it, the foundation will help fund it. Like, this is it's just amazing organization, and being able to have that community. Like, I've met guys at the championship that I talk to on a regular basis that live in Kentucky, that live in Florida, and all over the place. And another cool thing about this organization is, I go out, I still have family out in North Carolina. So I go out there every year to spend time with them. And it was like 3 years ago, I think, Chad Reed was putting on his first moto playground race event at Lake Sugar Tree.
Wow.
So some guys knew I was coming out there, and they're like, "Hey, we got a bike for you. Come on up. You can stay in our camper. Like, while you're here, it's going to be while you're here. So let's make it happen." So I went up there, went out and spent time with my family, and then next thing you know, I was at Lake Sugar Tree racing and battling it out with my buddies. So. And that's what's so cool about this organization is you make so many connections all over the country. No matter where you go, there's somebody that's most likely going to be there.
So I have a question for you just about like the connections and stuff. If you are from a veteran's perspective, they like motocross, they like dirt bikes, they, maybe go to a race, sometimes, and they see the VetMX tent. And what happens when they see, they're like, okay, that looks like a military thing. Okay, so they walk up, and then like what happens? How do they either like what's going on at the tents? How do they get involved? Like in terms of like location or events that you guys go to, is it at every race you guys have a tent set up? Is it just outside? We look for the camo, and then there's a representative there. Walk me just through the process so other people who want to get involved understand what's going on.
So at all the pro nationals, we're usually set up on vendor row or in the pits. It just depends on the race. But we always have, what's cool about it, and this is us being a national organization, is we pick volunteers from that area to go and work the canopy. So you'll go up to the canopy as a new person. Whoever's volunteering and working the canopy will explain about our foundation, how it works, explain it's, $20 a year membership, which that's $20 a year. You could blow that easily on Amazon within, and we only have to charge that just to be able to keep us up and going and pay for.
I don't think anybody would be upset with $20 a year.
Yeah. And, but we wish we could make it for free, but it's just, we don't do a lot of fundraising. We do for certain events. Like Mark and I start off our big fundraiser at the military appreciation round for Supercross at Arlington. We get a bunch of jerseys and auction them off, and then all that money goes towards the championship that we host, which at the championship is completely free for our members to show up. All they have to do is show up to the gate. We cover the camping fees, practice fees. We pay for 3 race entry fees of the VetMX classes. The branch battle is one that is required. And
really?
Yeah, well, it's because it's the Marines, Army, Air Force, Navy, Coast Guard, Space Force.
I was gonna say, do y'all have a Space Force yet? Because they're like 5 years old. Do y'all have any of those?
We do have a couple Space Force members.
Yeah,
those weirdos. You got to tell me what they're up to. Nobody knows what that branch is up to. We all saw it got made, and we're like, what are y'all doing in space? What don't we know?
Probably 6 or 7 years ago, our verification process was send us if you're active duty, send us your ID card, but black everything out.
Yeah.
Just so we know. And of course they never do. Then nobody listens.
I mean, if it's I'm not gonna lie, if it's veteran to veteran, like we don't.
Yeah, but
do you care?
Yeah.
Well, it got to a point that I was worried about having all these in our database, and that's when we switched over to GovX because I come from a collection background, and you see all the credit fraud and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, so we do have Space Force, but we also rent I think we rent 18 campers from McConnell Air Force Base to house guys and girls in.
Wow.
It's breakfast and dinners included. We
Mhm.
get tons of prizes. We do fun games like the Moto Limbo, the Whole Shot Challenge, all kinds of stuff. So
What's the Moto Limbo?
we put up a limbo bar, and you
Stop.
have to go under it with the
On a
dirt
bike.
bike, but
Yep.
you're not allowed to put your feet on the ground. So,
So people are just clotheslining themselves and getting themselves hit in the head on a dirt bike from a
well, the bar
stick?
drops off.
And they got a
Okay.
helmet on.
And okay. All right. Okay. As long as they have their helmet on, then yeah, let's just run into stuff.
Not like we're throwing anything at them.
Yeah,
That's
well, I don't know about that, but no, and so yeah, we'll go back to joining. You go up to the
Mhm.
booth; they'll tell you all about it, and it's a great community. It's so you join. I always tell members, if you really want to build up your area, to get one of those canopies, because it is like a magnet for other military members. When they see that at the track, they're like, oh, what's veteran MX? And then they come over, and next thing you know it, they're joining the club and being part of the foundation. And like we said, everybody's an owner, so you can put on a ride day. We do clinics. We'll bring out one. I think the last clinic I went to was down in Paris Raceway, and Jeff Emig was the instructor for that. We've done a private like weekend ride days with Chad Reed and his whole family, and
Aw.
it's an amazing foundation. And just we get, Hammy, as you know, we didn't join the military to get anything from anybody. Like, we're
Yeah.
out there, we're all about giving back. We want to be the provider. We want to do the support.
Mhm.
And so when people do go above and beyond for us, it's so amazing. And with all our sponsors that help us out, our three main things with the foundation is community, therapy, and accessibility.
I was
And
gonna ask, have you noticed in terms of like mental health and like veteran MX and like people like bringing people together? Because anything where veterans come together, there's always a sense of helping with some sort of mental health. Because a lot of people, it's just the freaking community. It's just having other people that get your jokes, where you say something, where you're being yourself, and then other people don't look at you like that was kind of weird to say. But if you're around other veterans, it's like, I totally get that. And I can only imagine that having this kind of environment with people, because the demographic's going to be huge. If you like dirt bikes, that's from young to however old. And I can't imagine that there would be a positive influence like mental health wise.
yeah, well, and we're not just about dirt bikes too. Mark can tell you he's been working hard on bringing in other nonprofits. So maybe if you're not into dirt bikes and you like fishing, we have connections with other nonprofits that can get you connected with that. I know for my mental health, I have a little check engine light tattooed. I don't know if you can see that.
I can see that. Okay, so you're saying like check in on your own mental health? Is that what that is?
Yeah. So whenever
Aw.
I'm struggling, I can check my own engine and process things. And a lot of I actually got this recently when I went through a PTSD program through the Wounded Warrior Project, called Operation Men down at UCLA, because I've done programs in the past and was struggling and recently and realized that it was time to go back and refresh on everything. And so even at our championship, I will be hosting whole health and wellness classes, mindfulness. We'll have resources for different nonprofits that are available to help you out. And that's what it's all about. Nobody is taking care of us. We can't rely. Obviously, everybody knows you can't rely on the VA to take care of you, because they don't tell you a lot of things that is accessible.
Mhm.
And so it's up to us as brothers and sisters to take care of each other.
I couldn't agree with you more on that. And Mark, how's your experience been?
It, you know, it's, I think the bike's just the vessel, if that makes sense.
What do you mean by
Um,
that?
like I've had members hit me up, and it's one of the cool things about, we have a private group page on Facebook that we all
Mhm.
communicate pretty much daily, and either bantering back and forth or just, you know, hey, I need help. I mean, we had members at 2 a.m. and you see 30 responses within 10 minutes because
Oh, you
we're all going through the same thing. You know, a lot of us can't sleep at night. A lot of it, but the community's there, and when they need it, they know that they can go to our group page and say, "Hey, I'm struggling." Um,
Mhm.
we've had a couple members recently, and and Peter's jumped right on it. Um, I get phone calls, "Hey, you want to go ride tomorrow?" Like, and I'm like, "Okay." And then you get the track and you don't even unload your bike.
Yeah.
It was the reason to get you there so they could talk to you because they needed to talk or they're going through an issue. And to me, that's where the bike becomes the vessel, right? It
Mhm.
had nothing to do with motocross, but being at the track with other bikes going, the bike's loaded up. If we wanted to ride, we probably could have rode. But the last time, a member really had some serious issues that he wanted to talk about and wanted to confide in me and see what, I could do to help him out.
Mhm.
And that's where, to me, it's important. To me, you could get rid of all the bike riding, the racing, all that kind of. At the end of the day, it's the wellness of all of our brothers and sisters. And like Peter said, this year's been a mission for me to get out to more veteran networking events and meet these other nonprofits
Mhm.
that offer, like we call our motocross throttle therapy. Everybody has their take on it. Like our friends that do deep sea fishing, they call it
Mhm.
salt therapy, right? And
Mhm.
since then, I've reached out with nonprofits that do skateboarding, ice hockey. I mean, you can pretty much imagine anything that's physical or a sport that people would do in after hours. There's a nonprofit for it.
Mhm.
And my goal is to have all those nonprofits as tools in my toolbox because we
Mhm.
all know we're hard headed. And if and if a veteran picks up the phone and calls me, maybe they see it's Supercross, maybe he just went with a friend or something, right? Maybe he's not
Mhm.
into motocross, but he saw VetMX and he picked up the phone and called. He goes, "Hey, I really like what you're doing, but I don't like I'm not a motocross guy."
Mhm.
I go, "Well, do you like fishing? Do you like skateboarding? Do you like hockey?"
Ah.
I want to have that resource to send them because he's only going to call once.
Yeah.
We're only going to get one shot. If you don't
Mhm.
have the answer, the chance of them calling back are slim and none. And that's where I've really pushed this year to build that toolbox. I continue every month to go out and try to meet more. Um, Ironically, I think there's a big competition within the nonprofit status around specifically military nonprofits, because everybody's fighting for money.
Do you
To,
think it's only for sorry to interrupt you. When you say competition, are you referring to veteran like nonprofits that are sports related, or do you just mean any veteran nonprofit
I
you're
think
noticing this
I
with?
think veteran nonprofit in general, because everybody's looking for grants or looking for help. Um,
Sponsorship
so when you
We
or
reach
are
out
a
to some of
write-off,
these
I
people,
think, right?
so
Veterans
so
are a write-off of some sort.
yeah, like we're a 501c3, so you can get a tax write-off for any donation
Mhm.
made at www.veteranmx.com. Smash that donate button.
but I think it's kind of a stigmatism. It's, well, this is ours. We don't want to talk about what we're doing.
Mhm.
You might step into our space. I'm like, wait a minute, we're all in the same space. We're all trying to do the same thing,
Mhm.
right? We're all trying to help our brothers and sisters.
Mhm.
And I think that's where sometimes I've had some really great conversations first time out with people, a couple that are, they put a wall up, and over time it seems to get better.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, we're all on the same team. We're all working to fix the same problem.
Mm-hmm.
Peter's heard this 1,000 times. When I got involved with VetMX, I thought if I helped one veteran, I was doing my job. Because if we all took accountability for one veteran, right, we can knock this number out of the park. We could get 22 a day down to nothing. What I didn't understand by helping one veteran, it actually helped two, because it helped me and it gave me a purpose, right? It gave me some, like, I'm doing my part still within the military community, and then it makes me proud as like Peter, and then I see Peter doing the same thing that I'm doing, and there's several of our members that it's just a huge trickle effect, and and I think that's where we see growth, right? I mean, it starts being contagious.
Mm-hmm.
The championship for me is a lot more than a 3-day motocross race. It's a 7-day retreat. It's the Monday through Thursday that's the fun part, right?
For some guys, though, it's all about bringing home the bling, if you know what I mean.
What the heck is that? Are those championship rings?
Yeah, this is your instead of trophies, we do championship rings.
That's so cool. Oh, look at the little VetMX on the side. Oh, those are cute. Those are stylish. Y'all need one of those chains, and then have them all around your chain.
I know, right?
So you just jingle when you walk around.
Peter couldn't get through airport security with all his.
But yeah, no, they're cool. They're it's something we do, and instead of the plastic trophies and stuff, it's like something a little more meaningful that you can wear. And
I like it.
That is real cubic zirconium right there. You can't that stuff.
Oh, cubic zirconium. Oh my!
It's got a tariff on it now.
Excuse me, I did not realize the worth of what I was staring at. Forgive me.
Yeah, I have a fake hand that wears them all and stuff. So when I'm driving around, I can work it up in my truck or my motorhome. And it's actually a hand I bought on Amazon for like where they practice painting the nails.
You have a mannequin for manicures.
A mannequin hand, yes. That carries my rings around.
That's the most military Marine shit I've ever heard. My God. That is ridiculous. That is so maddening. Oh my God.
But it makes it fun. So we do different colors every year. First, second, and third place all have different colors. And then the branch battle is always a different color. Yeah, it's just, we have members that wear them all day long, and their wives are really sick of them wearing them all the time, flashing them off to everybody they see, because it's like, get over it already. But no, it just brings back good memories from each year. And like we say, it's really not even about what's happening on the track. It's more about what's going on in the pits, and helping those who are struggling with something get through it, and just being support, and having somebody just listen to you.
Oh my God, I know.
And understand. And if you want guidance, they'll give you guidance, and if not, you just need somebody to listen. Like I answer my phone all the time for guys that just need somebody to talk to, and sometimes they need different perspective of things, and I'll give it to them. And if they just want me to listen, at least I'm here to just listen to them. And a lot of as humans, we need that, so
that's the least we can do. And it's one of the most overlooked things. And that's always been, even when I was I would get in trouble for not being super as fast with my appointments as I should be, because a lot of the time, sorry, you were waiting 10, 15 minutes, it was me. A lot of the times it really is just like, you know, they come in for back pain and then it's, hey, how are you doing? I know you're not going to be able to get seen for another 3 months. And then that's when they let you know, and I'm able to be like, all right, cool. I'm going to walk you upstairs to mental health. I know you already have an appointment, but it's 2 months out and who knows. So, and then like really just being an ear does so much. So I love that you both take that to heart. And I know that it's only people who are in the military that can understand how truly like valuable that is to in our community, especially.
So when I was in, our big thing in the Marine Corps was, if you had a problem, here's your straw, suck it up, pretty much.
Oh,
And like now I realize that the straw wasn't the answer. You know, you can't just suck everything up, because you start building this stuff up, it's like shaking a bottle or something. When you start to crack it, it's gonna start flowing out, and it's much. So that's what we are. We're here to release some of that pressure and to help you, because that's truly what we're about.
I think that's beautiful. And I'm not gonna lie, I know you and the foundation itself, VetMX. I know you guys are very deeply involved in the community, and you guys do a lot of amazing, wonderful things. But I do have to say that this conversation has definitely been a lot more sweet and tender than I thought it would be, and I think a lot of people are going to really appreciate that, because it's really nice to hear that from a couple of old salty vets that are, you know, that did their time and have been seeing things change and are still like being as ruthlessly determined as ever to be stubborn and help people in every single way that you can. And I think that that's absolutely heartwarming, and it's sweet and it's kind, and it's exactly the kind of people that we need in this world. And I don't think especially from the older generations, I know it's harder to connect, it's harder to open up, and it's harder to release that lid, like you said, and kind of open up the bottle. So I think what you're doing is absolutely amazing, and I wish nothing but like the most success for you two. Like genuinely, seriously, from the bottom of my heart, I think you guys
Well,
are
we can't wait to
amazing.
have you out at one of our events, and for you
No.
to get on some throttle therapy with us.
Well, you know, I whiskey throttled once into a tree, and that was like enough for me. um,
We have a couple of vets of whiskey throttled once or twice.
oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
but you know, the bike isn't
I
like
don't
bigger
know
than
any of them.
them. I would absolutely love and be honored to come out and hang with you guys. You guys are awesome. For people wanting to get involved, find y'all on social media. You know, personally, just stalk you on the internet. Where can they go? Where can they find you guys?
So you can find us on social media at Veteran MX. Is it, or is it
Veteran underscore MX on
underscore
Instagram.
Come on,
on
Peter.
Instagram, and our website
VeteranMX.com
There we go.
is the website.
veteranmx.com.
The
And
donate button in the top right corner.
as these kids say nowadays, smash that donate button, because it's everybody's help. It's people
And,
that want to help, that keeps us moving forward in our mission, that others may ride.
and
Yeah,
and
others
one
may
thing that
ride.
we added this year for the championship on donations, to get away from the corporate sponsors. I mean, we have corporate sponsors that help us out,
Mm-hmm.
but people can actually go to the website and donate $125 and sponsor a veteran.
What's that do?
You'll actually be assigned a veteran.
Mm-hmm.
That those funds will be used to help pay for their race fees, their gate fees. If you're able to come to the event, you'll get a private meet and greet with that veteran, to kind of hear their story and meet them. If not,
Wow.
we're working on details to do something either via mail or uh, a phone call or something like that. But it really breaks it down to, the individual level. We've got people that are coming and they've already got 5 donations from different people. So like, I want to go to this certain veteran, and it's just really cool way to get involved. But anything helps. Uh, this championship is pretty much a 12-year or 12-month like go around for. I mean, Peter and I'll start planning next year's the day after, maybe even before we even left Kansas this year. We'll
Oh
already be
boy.
talking about next year. So there goes a lot to be involved when you get 250 plus veterans and family members at one location.
I think that's awesome. I think that's really cool. I like the idea of sponsoring a veteran. That's cool, and it's personal, and it like
It's
connects.
personal,
It's full
right?
circle. It's full circle.
And if you know a veteran, you know, you could do it in their honor, or you know, leave it to us to sign to one of the members. But yeah, it's a cool little way to, you know, if you're into helping the veteran community, that you can do it on a personal level,
Hmm.
not some $5,000 or $10,000 corporate sponsor.
I like that. I like that. I think a lot of people are gonna like that.
Part of our championship is the adaptive championship.
What's that?
So we run 3 classes for adaptive: upper limb, lower limb, and sit down.
Does that mean what I
So
think it means?
Yeah, you don't even have to have legs. We work with another nonprofit called Motodemption. So yeah, even if you're missing legs,
they have bikes for you. They have custom bikes so you can ride with no legs. We've got
such an
upper
amazing
amputee. Yeah, it's,
the
and then
tears of
sit down, you have
happiness.
to be strapped in.
The tears of
Wow.
happiness they have is amazing.
Holy crap! That's incredible.
And if you're a veteran in that Kansas area that would like to be part of it, I think we still have some spots open under the adaptive clinic that we'll be hosting the Wednesday before racing starts on Friday.
Heck yeah, that's amazing. Please send me the information, you know, prior so I can help promo it and, you know, also get that out to other people as well. That's really cool. I didn't know we had stuff like that, which sucks to say, but
Mhm.
that's really, really cool that we have that and that you guys are also creating that environment. I'm sure that's gonna light a big spark for a lot of people that otherwise maybe thought that, you know, maybe they didn't have access to certain things. So that's really
We
exciting.
we had a double amputee part of opening ceremonies at Military Appreciation in Tampa 2 years ago. And when we had dinner, and we had actually had a race bike with a sidecar on it, and it was for him to ride in the sidecar because he was a double amputee.
Hmm.
We were at dinner the night before, and he's like, "Hey, I don't want to sound ungrateful. This is an amazing opportunity." He goes, "But the stumps I have
Hmm.
aren't paralyzed." He goes, "Is there any way I could try to ride that bike?" And we're like, "Yeah, let's do it. Let's get to the pits an hour early tomorrow and we'll see what happened." And he climbed up onto this bike. We put an able body in the bucket, put it in second gear, and he's ripping through the pro pits on a
Oh.
race bike with no legs on, just in a smile ear to ear. So first
Oh my
everybody's looking because
God.
there's a sidecar going through the pits, and then the double take and like, wait a minute, this guy doesn't have any legs. And his wife still to this day goes, this is the first time he'd been on a dirt bike since his accident, and he's just like ear to ear, just smiles. And
Well,
we see
just
him every
because
year when
you're
we go to
disabled,
Arlington. So
doesn't mean you're unable.
That's gonna make me cry. That's a beautiful story. I'm really stoked for you guys. I really am. I think that's I think that's an amazing thing. And you guys just keep getting cooler and cooler. You guys just keep getting cooler and cooler.
well, we want to include everybody. So that's the.
I think you did. I think you did, and I think that is probably the group that needs the most love. All the groups need love, but in terms of, you know, progressing things and making it community accessible to participate in sports and stuff like that, I think that's fantastic. I think that's fantastic, and that's really badass. I'm not gonna lie. I wish I could have seen that. I can't imagine. I can't imagine.
I'll text you. I have videos and pics. I'll text them to you.
That'd be awesome. That'd be awesome. I look forward to it. Alrighty, Mark, Peter, thank you both for your time today. Thank you, gentlemen, for sharing your stories with me, for speaking about all the amazing stuff about VetMX, for talking about the community. There's zero doubt in my mind that that when this goes out, that there's going to be people hitting you up, wanting to get involved, other nonprofits wanting to get involved, all that good stuff. So thank you again, and I hope you gentlemen have a wonderful rest of your day.
Thank you.